everyone.
How's it going?
Hello, hello.
Okay,
Hey.
and welcome to another Catch Us If You Can, Great Unlock. We're having a chat. Today, the chat is actually going to be about, I'll let Malek to explain what the chat is about and then we can get to it.
All right, so today we are talking. Oh, can you hear me?
Sure.
Sure can.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I had it playing, so it was playing back when I looped in. I
It's
apologize.
okay.
Technical difficulties. Um, so today we are talking about soulmates, partnerships, and everything that falls into that category. Given that we're coming into Valentine's Day, and it's something that has been coming up for us. All right.
Yeah. Who wants to kick it off?
Well, I could start with my understanding of it and let you elaborate and correct me if necessary.
No, then
Yeah.
I'm starting because I don't want to correct you. That's it. I won't ask again.
All right, go ahead.
um just because I don't want to correct you. No, for me, soulmates has always been something that doesn't always have to be romantic. And I know we've been like romanticized it, but it can also be non-romantic things as well, in my understanding of it. um Two souls who agreed to come in and experience a certain instance together, whether that be childhood together or parenthood together or a loving relationship or a parent child relationship. It's just like, for me, more of this soul agreement that of a relationship that you would have in this experience together. And I don't think we're limited to one as well. We're limited to as many as we've already decided, in my understanding of it. But I know a lot of people love the idea of that being your one and only, and then there's no more. And I understand that, but that's not my understanding of what soulmates are.
Yeah. Yeah, and you may come across people in your life that you are like, excuse me, inexplicably like just you're drawn to them, like just and that probably has a lot to do with the fact that you've probably had a lot of other experiences together. You know each other quite well, and you vibe, if you will, beyond even just this physical life that you're in right now. The a soulmate is, to me, is just you're more like you're very, very, very good friends, if you want to put it that, like, you know each other very well. You've shared a lot of experiences, and you've built up this rapport with one another, so you stand out more that way.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't think it's just a one and only thing either, because I've met a couple people in my life, just personally speaking, that were just like, holy crap, I can tell I know you, but I haven't met you yet, in this experience. But yeah, I feel like it's probably twisted a little bit in society. People say the twin flame idea, um, stuff like that, and like, well, yeah, it is a two-player game. I would suggest coming here, through the duality of everything. But you're one and only. Nah, I think people kind of get that twisted and set themselves up for failure thinking that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Where are you in that?
well, you already know what I think. Because you're
Maybe
my soulmate.
because I'm your one and only.
Yaw.
All right. So
Nah.
The people
this is
want to
what I'm
know.
gonna say
So-
from
Inquiring minds want to know.
you're my one and only. But soulmate,
Today. Until we choose each other every
we
day.
choose, and I choose. I
And I
obviously choose
chose
that.
you.
I chose that.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
from okay, from a common sense perspective, I would say that if you understand what a soul is, you then begin to understand that it's not as black and white as we may want to believe it is. So you got soul that's split up in different fractals, and not your soul is not fully here anyway. And you could be sharing your soul with somebody else, and the same person you could share your life with. So, and it doesn't have to be romantic or anything like that. So I think that the understanding of the role of the soul here is important, so that people can begin to maybe have more tolerance for the idea that soulmate may not mean being romantic. So that's my perspective on that. I think that's where I think the misunderstanding comes from. It's the fact that it's a bit like the consciousness and the awareness. A lot of people don't know what is what, and then what's going on in your body. Am I fully here? Am I fully present, or am I just a portion of my soul here? So that's what I would say.
Yeah, it is not romantic sometimes. It really isn't. And I think that's the thing as well. I spent a lot of time really believing in like the idea of the one. And every time my friends would be like, "You're set anyway, you've got a Monday." And this is not just female friends, these are male friends. Like, "You're okay, like, you've got a Monday, like, you guys have found each other, like, you found the one." And I always be like, "Get back to me in 20 years and ask me the same question." That's always what I tell people. Because I was like, I know that you'll think it's all like solid, that's it, it's locked in. And I'm like, I don't know. And it's been like that every day since I've met him. Like, I don't know. Okay, I'll see how it goes. Like, I'm not trying to front run what it's going to be. I just stay in the moment of what it is and I choose it.
Right.
Rather than being like, I know this is fate and this is it and this is forever. Because what if it's not? Is my whole world going to be rocked to the core? Have I now lost my other half? That's a big portion of you to be lost when you're
Right.
down having a realm one experience. How is that going to throw the rest of my experience off? Would they want that for me?
Yeah.
You know?
Even touching on ways to distort it there too, right? Because are you whole and happy and fulfilled with yourself? If you are, then yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to sting and suck a bit to lose someone you're so close to. I mean, that's just part of the experience. But
Without a doubt.
like, yeah, are you going to fall apart and never recover or anything like that? Well, what are your beliefs surrounding it even? You know, if you believe that you can't be whole without something outside of yourself, you're going to set yourself up for failure right away, right? Or if you follow societal expectations on those things. So I would say even just surrounding the idea of soulmates, even there's a lot of distorted uh, information like that. Like, you being whole within yourself does not require something on the outside, and that includes a so-called soulmate or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I
would
have
say
a question going off of what Bless just said.
Sure.
So we are fed this kind of story of romantic love and what that should look like through the media, whatever. You get that since you're a child. If you could redefine what like a romantic partnership could be, if it wasn't distorted from all these other sources, how would you define that in its purest form?
I would call it a choice. Like, if I really wanted to get simple with it, two, as I'd like to put it, two whole people, two whole souls choosing to be together and share an experience. And that, if you're alone, if you're just one person, you create one person's worth of stuff in your life, right? Whether you want to say that's material goods or creating on a soul level, whatever it is. The other person, one person, individually, you're both just doing one person's worth of stuff, right? If you come together, I would suggest you create more than you would have just on your own that way. Like, there's an exponential sort of growth to that. You are now creating more than what two people on their own would have. And that is the beautiful, like, agreement that you're making between yourselves when you both got your shit straight, if you want to put it that way. So that'd be my take. What do you guys think?
I think you've got to take the edge off. Everything is too much. Everything tends to be too magnified. Everything. So then we miss the details. We think we see more details, but we don't. And I think when it comes down to that, it's about zooming out a little, breathe, and then allow yourself to think differently. Um, what if soulmate was never meant to be romantic? Then would you now all of a sudden change the terms that you speak of and decide to say, well, me and my partner or me and my spouse, we're not soulmate because it doesn't match what I feel, soulmate was. And so all I'm saying, these are still words that have been used. And sometimes you're better off understanding the concept than the words in itself, because then you align yourself more information, access to more information, and then make more sound choices, I would say. That's what I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with what both of you said, because whereas I do see about being whole and then coming in and just trying to find someone as whole as you are type of thing,
Mm.
or at least that resonates with whatever it is your version of wholeness is at that time.
Right. That's important.
Um
Yeah.
there's still requirements here. We're still having a round one experience that has to look fun sometimes, that has to look desirable sometimes, that has to, you still want a flesh suit experience out of it. And that's where we get caught in the mire sometimes, the what does it look on a material level, and how does it function on a material level with an overlay of the soul level, rather
Right.
than flipping it on its head and being like, what does it have to be on a soul level, and then what's the rest saying? And I've pursued both. I guess the one that I pursued on a soul level has outlived the rest. Um, but not to say that the other side didn't have value. It taught me so much about myself.
Ah, the contrast. Yeah.
Yeah, it taught me so much about myself and so much about self worth and so much about being open to the fact that people change. People change, people grow. So if you do decide, you're going to commit to the one, know that the one may change, and that's okay. But change, people think, well, you've changed. Apparently, apparently that's the talk before the sit down to say
Right.
bye.
Implying you're just this immovable, unchangeable object that moves through eternity.
It is.
Now you've objectified them, and I was like, so in which ways am I objectifying myself? Why it's so hard for me to accept this change in you?
In a sense,
You know?
is the true tester of unconditional love.
Yeah.
It is. Because love is
Yeah.
allowance, right? Like that's a large part of it, at least. Can you allow them to, what's that old saying? If you love someone enough, let them go. And, they'll come back. Or I forget the whole saying, but just the idea of like, you got to love them enough. If you love yourself enough, you'll love them enough that if they choose differently, and not to get it twisted, like soulmate, like not just romantically, if you come together at a big business agreement, or like you come together to build a great statue together or something with one of your soulmates, like when you're done and you choose to go your separate ways, do you appreciate the experience and just to let it be? You let them be, like that's love. That is the one of the biggest tests here, I feel, when it comes to love. Like, can you
Yeah.
just watch them
Yeah.
go their own way and just be happy for them? Can you do that?
Yeah.
you know
Or better yet, support it. Support them
Yeah.
going their own way.
Exactly.
Like build that exit door with them. Build all of the portals that they can jump into if they so choose to with them. And then that way you don't have to, none of it's a surprise.
Right.
And who said you can't jump on there with them and go through that with them
Mhm.
if you choose to? And we just stay so stuck. And I realized that the rigidness that I expect from my partner was the rigidness I was putting on myself. So if you're like, oh, you can't change, this has to stay static, then I'm willing the same thing for myself.
Right.
Dare I grow? Dare, you know, Burger King lunches be beneath me? And now I've got to come 20 years later and explain to you that's not going to cut it. Like, where are we drawing the line with this growth thing?
Right.
And we do it on so many levels with so many things. But
Right. Like
I thought it was a great question.
your conditions are being put on somebody else without you realizing they're coming from you, because it's a mirror and you're doing it. Like, Yeah. You look like you're going to
Yeah.
say something, Moni. What you got?
Yeah, actually, actually link up what you both said.
Sweet.
What I think ultimately is gratitude as well, because it's it's funny how easy it is to complain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
It comes
yeah.
very easy,
Oh yeah.
but to truly say I love you, not so easy, isn't it? But yeah, we're searching for this, unconditional love or this soulmate or this. So I feel that there's a part of preparation that comes into play, and also before giving up as well. There's a whole preparation. Have you done what it takes? And I think when you ultimately still touching on manifestation in itself for whatever relationship you want to bring forth, and don't get me wrong, I think some of these relationships are they're all sacred, but some are planned and
Mm-hmm.
some are meant to take place, happen. Now, how long they last? Well, you'll find out. You'll know when he finishes, if he ever. And I think that it is important to look into practicing gratitude, and in this way, in order to do so, and it's a bit what this event coming up is about as well. It's to also point out all the maybe the little thing you keep on doing, the patterns you holding on to that don't benefit you and your relationships. So when it comes down to these great names, we usually call for love. I mean, soulmate, twin flame, although sometimes we are wrong because this doesn't mean exactly that. I think that if you can't have that love for yourself, where you show gratitude, where you're grateful for everything you do, for everything you are, then it will be challenging, and you will only manifest the like Bless just suggested, the mirror of yourself. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Spot
the
on.
reality.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
just to acknowledge chat real quick. Yeah. John, just another avatar. Alan Watts kind of said it best, talking about two halves making a whole, about two whole souls adding to each other's experience. Partners should not be a reflection of a caged bird. I like that last sentence especially. So yeah, you're not shackled to each other. If you're already kind of setting yourself up for failure if you feel like it's that, because it's like
Yeah.
it's a that's an expectation of wanting to escape from one another if you didn't have that holding each other together. So
Yeah. It's funny how people see it as like a ball and chain, and the references that you get in society about being together I'm like, no wonder the divorce rate is what it is, because we make so many crude um references towards what it is to be in a relationship with somebody. It's just like, oh, every way it's gonna be bad.
yeah,
Like,
adversarial, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to be mindful, I would say, in not following that playbook to a T, the one that's been made by, you know, I would call them the power that be, but I don't think it is the appropriate name for it. Just don't
The
have better ones.
collective consciousness. We all
No,
got together and made
days
Cinderella.
days do you know what? There's agendas, and
Mhm.
these agendas may not be beneficial to you. So when
Right.
you are saying these words that are, actually it's funny. I just we just actually posted a Discord post in regards to words and the thing behind them. So what I'm saying is, in reference to what Shem just said about all of these phrases we like to use, well, that as well might not benefit you, because you ultimately manifest your reality before your eyes, and
Right.
specifically the way
Suggestions
you
being
speak.
fed
Yeah.
to you. Like, okay, guys, like, I'm sure I unfortunately recently got exposed to this. I don't watch TV. I don't watch anything like that. But I sat down at a local bar and grill to have a lunch, and they had the news on. And in between, the news sections, of course, it's like pharmaceutical ad after cancer ad after this after that. All of those things, like did you know that one and blah 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 women have a risk of cervical cancer, and oh, you better go get screened and all that stuff. That idea is implanting that in your head and causing people to end up with the cancer ultimately because they get worried and afraid of it, right? Now take that same principle and apply it to your relationships. uh, are you spending a lot of time on social media? Are you seeing, like, oh well, that's a red flag, that's a red flag, oh if they say this then they actually mean that, and like all of these things that are out there trying to get you for whatever reason to just not get along with your partner. Well, if you're acknowledging that, it's suggesting things that get fed into this, and this will screw everything up for you, because if you
Every
allow that stuff
time.
in there, well, now you're looking for that, right? Oh no, is that a red flag? Oh no. Well, like, what's this tell you? Does this still feel good about the relationship, or does this feel kind of about it? Because if this feels no amount of wishful thinking will make that change. And if this feels pretty good, and you're like going out of your way to look for the bad things, you might just be sabotaging something that's pretty good otherwise. So you got to watch those suggestions. They're everywhere. They're in your face all day long if you're around any kind of social media or TV news, whatever. So
Yeah.
You know what? Just to back you up on what you just said, which is 1,000% true. Even few oncologists have realized that the overdiagnosis of cancer actually end up to to basically get people to manifest the cancer. So basically, he's saying that oncologist was saying that basically, when you're looking for something, eventually you will find it.
yeah.
That's why he said. So, and he did also a study on men over 70 years old that actually died to just to see if they had prostate cancer, or at least had this cancerous cells. They all had it over 70 years old. None of them were not diagnosed, but they were not sick or anything like that. It's just that it's there. So if you look for it, you will find it. So yeah, blessed. I think that you're dead on. Like, if you really go out there and just keep on saying the saying, keep on saying whatever you think it's true, then eventually you'll manifest that. Yeah, you'll deprive yourself from a great relationship. You will do that. It's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're stepping out of the driver's seat, and now you're sitting in the passenger seat and letting all the people out there tell you what your life's supposed to be instead. And that's not going to work. Doesn't matter if it's soulmates or anything else. You're going to go right off a cliff. So
Yeah. And it's funny how much approval we look for from other people about the relationships we want. Um, you know, oh, meet my parents, or meet my friends. If my friends don't like you, that's it. Like,
yeah,
and we do the same not only with romantic relationships, we do it the same with my kids. I'll meet my kids, are really smart, you know? And giving a shit what their feedback is about it. Like, you have to make your mind up about these relationships in your life and not care about what everyone else thinks about them, as they're not experiencing them as you are experiencing them. So
right.
it doesn't matter what their opinion is on it, because they're not having the relationship as you are. They're not in that driver's seat with that person.
Right. Are they
And we do
giving
it so
you
many times.
are they giving you a judgment, or are they asking you questions about what you're going through and then offering just suggestions or feedback based on what you have to say? Like, are they just like, oh well, that person's no good for you and I knew it from the start, and or are they like, well, how does that make you feel? Like, that's the difference between someone that's actually trying to help you versus someone who's just a little too lost in the sauce. That's all. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
there. I used to be that way. I mean, I know a lot of people end up that way and come out of it and go, "Oh, wow, that's why I shouldn't do that." Okay, like, it's all right if you're there. It's okay. That just teaches you why you never want to go back there. That's fine. So
And I say that to say, I remember the first time I was telling my friend, like, I've met this guy, and um we're gonna go to the cinemas, but we're gonna go as friends. So he's bringing his friends, I'm bringing mine. There's no pressure. Like, it's just come along if you're free. You're my friend. You want to come with me? So I like don't go by myself and just be with a bunch of people I don't know. Like, and they were like, okay. And then I was like, okay, first off though, just you're gonna have to talk slowly because they're French. yuck, no, not coming. A couple months later, this is Amondi. you know that French guy I was telling you about? And they were like, oh wow, he's so nice. And it was just like in that moment they were like, ah, they had that lesson. So I get what you're saying about being that other person as well.
Mm,
Yuck maybe shouldn't be the first thing, but at the same time, you're being honest. And
right.
Well,
maybe
mm,
I saved myself a bunch of projection that night
That
because
could be.
yeah, I had a great time, except the film was rubbish. Um the film choice was poor. I stand by that. But yeah, everything else was great.
I was actually it's funny you mentioned these relationship you have. Have you got balanced relationship in your life? Are they balanced? Are they harmonious? Because if you trying to improve your relationship, already is telling me that it's not really that balanced, that harmonious. However, if you are looking for new relationship, you do have to look at that as well. And I think when it comes down to these relationships, soulmate or whatever you want to call it, they also contract. Now, a part of the event is also talking about the meaning of the soul contract and these false agreement, things that we agree to that we shouldn't. And when we also talk about relationship, we're talking about relationship with institution as well. These relationships you keep going in that, because if you think it doesn't affect your relationship or the relationship you're trying to look for, it does. It shape up your whole reality. So these are the things that this event is about as well, to understand that aspect as well, so you can make better choices for yourself. So yeah, so that is an important point of that event as well.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. It's not
Yeah.
just about the relationship. Well, it is about relationships, but relationships throughout your whole life, every interaction you have with another soul is a relationship of sorts. So it's not just love in the way that we would take it in the meat suit, at least. It is about love, but yeah,
yeah.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
and just to clarify a little, when I say the institutions in general, down to when you go and get married to the what do you call this in the US, the registry,
I don't know what they call it in the
marriage
US.
registry office, or I don't know what you
Here
guys
it's
call it.
called the registrar.
The registrar. So basically, when you get married there, the things they tell you to speak of, to say, all of these things are things you're agreeing to, or how you connect your relationship with your children when you send children to school. That also will impact your relationship with children. So when you look to be sovereign and you want to begin to decide what type of relationship you have, these things matter. They truly matter. So yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah. I've on reflection of a lot of the relationships I've had, a lot of them became disharmonious depending on the soul contracts that I had signed with other entities. Like if I'd got a new job and that job requested of me always taking my weekends no matter what. Something simple. And I would say, yeah, I'll do that. Suddenly something else would fall apart. And I'd always be like, so why? Like, why? And it's because you made an oath that overlapped on another oath that was pre existing. And it's like a slight, you don't see it that way in the moment, but it does speak of why so many people will go through these major breakups and these major disconnections because they feel like the original agreement has not been respected.
Right. It's
And
like you
here's
dropped a
where yeah,
you dropped
the
another pebble in
integrity
the
of
puddle
it.
nearby, and the ripples are just,
Exactly.
smacking each other now.
And before you know it, you're like, oh, I see. I did kind of make that agreement after I'd
Mhm.
already made your agreement. And it's subtle and it happens so gently. It's like um, something like you're at home and you'd never force your children to eat their vegetables. but every time they go to their school, like if your kids go to school in France, they eat really great food, but they don't play when it comes to the kids. Like, if you better finish that food. You leave him what? You don't leave your vegetables. You won't get playtime. So if you're at home promising your kid, like, I will never force you to eat anything you don't want, but then you send them to somewhere that will, and then you're wondering why they're acting up when they come home, and why they've suddenly got this stomach ache all the time, and it's this anxiousness, and you can't quite put your finger on it, and you're like, well, you're eating well, and you're this and you're that, and then you see the bleed over, that that crossing of paths. It's just like, it's so subtle, and we do it, and that's where your compassion has to come in for yourself, and really just be like, your willingness to say, I look at that, I see what that is, and I apologize for that. That was not my intention.
Right.
It goes so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that got me thinking as well. Are you available? I mean, even romantically speaking, if you're looking for a romantic relationship, are you truly available though? Or is it one of the things you love, but you're so busy with other stuff and you're agreed to other things? Your lifestyle is an agreement to so many obligation. Can you afford to do that? These are the things that we're going to get you to ask yourself, literally, and really keeping it real, because it matters. It does shape up your reality, your relationships, and everything.
Yeah.
So
It all
yeah,
comes back to you. All of
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I know we are closing in on about a half an hour, and that was the time we had for today. If you want to just say one more thing about what this month's event will be, just for those who came on a little bit late, that'd be great. You want to start us, Shem?
Okay.
All
It's
right.
going to be about exploring the idea around soulmates, exploring the idea around what that means for you in your life, what we've been told it means versus what it means on a soul level, and what it can mean for you moving forward as you understand it, as you have a new perspective about it, and ways and means that you can manifest harmonious relationships and soul contracts and soul relationships in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Um,
was pretty good. Uh, what could I even add to that? Um, yeah. The idea of regrounding a lot of these terms too, like soulmate, like just bringing it back down a bit, trying to gently remove it from the baggage that maybe has been placed around it throughout your life. Because I know a lot of language is real easy to get flawed, or just have all this extra attachments to it. So stripping that away and just trying to get everybody on a baseline where it's like, okay, I feel like I got a solid foundation now, and now I can kind of start building up from there. And wow, everything's just better now for some reason. Huh? Funny, you know. What do you think, Monty?
um, well, um, I'll see in the comment. Um, I think it's Game that mentioned the parent-child relationship contracts. Um, yeah. Well, we are going to talk about that. Definitely cover it. We homeschool our children. We have 4 children. We homeschool all of them. We send our children to public school, so we know also how that system works. And I will share why we did that and what we noticed, and the changes as well that we noticed, and yeah, and there's a big relation uh, with the way we think, what we believe in, what we decide to put our energy towards, and that relationship we have with our children. So yeah, that's a big part of it as well in terms of understanding what those relationships are as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I will say that will be
That
part of
will
it.
always that will also cover parental, so parent to child, as in parent to adult child as well. What that means in a transitional phase, like you're no longer needing of being dependent on them. Maybe it switches and you're suddenly the person who they depend on. How that dynamic and that flows with the soul contract you may have or may not have. Also, the dynamic between siblings as well. It's a very strong one when it comes to soul contracts and what soulmates are. So, yeah, we cover all of those things and any of the ones we've missed as well. Yeah, we're covering those.
Awesome. Thank you. And just before we wrap it up, I wanted to say just thank you to everyone who came out on Sunday. We had a
Oh,
beautiful,
yes.
beautiful
It's beautiful.
manifestation event. And it was a magical space to be a part of. So I'm grateful to everyone that I'm a part of it. So yeah. So we're hoping
Thank
to
you.
recreate that every month until June and then from there. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Very
you,
grateful to
everyone.
all of you for that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you all. We'll see you soon.
we will see
Yep.
you soon.
Until
All right.
then, love and
Ciao.
ciao.
Much love, friends. Take care.